quick shot at like how we never capture content of us just like talking about shit.
Oh, okay.
All right, so this is behind the scenes of the Broke Entrepreneur podcast. It's been a dope content day, and right now Chach is editing up some video. I just shot a couple videos myself, and yeah, still man. So
yeah, man. So I'm editing a video right now. Shout out to LVO Fit.
okay,
We're gonna talk about that in a later episode because we haven't done an episode in a long time.
we haven't. It's been a while.
But LVO Fit, I think one of the last episodes, I think I just finalized the business.
Okay.
Right, and now it's up, it's running. I got a nap, and we'll talk about all that stuff, man. Because I know you want to know.
I want to know, man. I'm excited, man. I'm starting to put together content, and I feel like the more I record, the more I'm gonna catch my groove, and I feel like it's been a struggle internally.
It's been a struggle.
It's been a struggle, right?
I mean, this game, entrepreneurship, being a business, I think it's all of a game of like an eternal game.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like you learn so much about yourself. You have to keep improving yourself. You learn things about yourself that you didn't know before because, you weren't going down that path, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's different. It's like when you have like a 9-to-5 job, you go and you do whatever it is they tell you to do, right? Entrepreneur, like running a business, like you have to realize like, hey, the way that I'm talking to, clients, or the way that I'm talking to is something that I didn't even know that I was doing, that I need to fix that issue so that I can be more presentable and that I can, be more effective when I talk to my clients or prospect and so on. So it's like, it's issues that can go like deeper than you even thought. Like, man, the reason why I come off this way, right? Let's say you have employees and you snap on your employee. The reason why I snap is because, I used to get kicked down the trash can when I was
a freshman in high school.
When I was a freshman in high school, so like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a lot of internal issues from like back in the days that you, and just even stuff now that you have to like man, I didn't even know I was doing that. Like I need to fix that so that I can make more money in my business because that's holding me back from, making content or doing this or doing that. So. Yeah, I mean, entrepreneur is a game of learning thyself,
That's mostly what it is.
Learning thyself. It's
and breaking down myths and barriers, and it's so much deeper than people make it seem. They think it's like this glorified, like easy thing. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm gonna get rich. I'm gonna make money. It's like it's not gonna happen. And a big part of it is like mental, and there people wonder why they have like mental health coaches and people like Tony Robbins, who make millions of dollars, but they know how to say the right things to the right people and get people out of those mental ruts to get the most out of themselves. So that's why those people pay that money, because it's worth it for them,
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. Like, let's say you have a friend that you've known for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And they had issues, and they kind of talked to you about it, but you guys are friends and you guys talk or whatever, but that person's still dealing with that issue.
Yeah.
Right? There are people out there that if you was to go to that person, like a Tony Robbins or, whoever it is, they can literally solve their problem in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? They can get them the whatever that is to come out, whatever it is that they need to say or whatever, like the thing that they need to be honest about themselves with, that they can pull that out of them, and like that's value.
It's value.
A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah, it's a skill. And
so.
That's why when you see those people that do make it that big, there's a lot of hate around them, and it's like, well, they're getting success, right? If these people weren't constantly succeeding and winning, they would eventually fail.
Yeah.
So obviously they're doing something right, and
so
that's just how business is. Like it's just so much. It's just that mental aspect. Like I never thought I would struggle with that, and because I'm such a strong person mentally, I go through so much stuff. But now I'm like, man, it's like damn. Like I didn't know that I could be caught up in a mental rut.
Yeah, I talk about it a lot. Like, there's a lot of smart people out there that have extremely high IQs. You know, I read an article about the guy. It was like a, I'm paraphrasing. It was like 160 IQ. Right,
Yeah.
that's smart as shit. Right,
Yeah.
but he was broke living on the couch. So how can someone be that smart, be broke living on the couch? And I pulled out this book. I don't know if you guys can see this. Emotional intelligence, EQ. When you have EQ, emotional intelligence, combined with IQ, man, you probably blazing trails right now.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, you know, I'm a dummy.
Okay.
Okay. You know what I mean? But I've always had really high EQ. Even when it looks like I'm not paying attention, I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
You know, and like that has probably been my only advantage in this entrepreneur space.
Yeah.
I can relate to people, I can empathize with people, and actually listen when they talk to me. Listening is a skill that a lot of people don't have.
Yeah.
You know, and it
True.
allows me to do, you know, in the fitness space, and for me to train people, I have to listen to what it is that, you know, whatever issue that they're having, you know, and a lot of times it's on the surface, you know, so I have to be like, okay, that's not, you know, that really isn't the problem. Like, what is the real problem? Let me get down to it. But I care enough to get down to that problem because I actually care. It's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, they lack the EQ and they have a lot of issues in their business because of that. But they're very smart and they get shit done.
Very smart. They get shit done. They even make money.
You know, they make money. So
But they're stuck. They haven't been able to take that next leap, and it usually has something to do with emotional intelligence.
yeah, and you can improve on emotional. I mean, I advise people to check out this book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0. You can find this on Amazon, on other bookstores and stuff like that. But it has a test that you can take and find out what your emotional intelligence is right now. Once you buy the book, it's a free test. I actually scored pretty high. I was like in the 90s before I even took the test and looked at the practical solutions and so on. You know, a lot of people. I would say like, cause I'm a hybrid. I'm a entrepreneur. I'm a like a introvert and extrovert, and a lot of introverts have higher EQs.
Yeah.
You know,
So
I don't know if that's fact,
Good,
but
maybe.
you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, you know, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself, which is emotional intelligence, self-management, when you're in this game.
Yeah.
You know, and like that could be the thing that's holding you back. Like, man, this, you know, you ever met someone who's so smart, but they're literally like so self-centered they can't see anything else. You know,
Yeah.
like that shit is gonna hurt 'em.
That was me.
Oh damn!
I'm trying to break that. I'm trying to break out. Like, I'm smart. I've done shit. I've made money. I've done a lot of crazy things, and it's like, why am I stuck in this rut? Like, what am I missing? It's like, oh well, I was lacking the ability to communicate with people at different levels. It's like I got so used to talking up here. I go in a room with people, high level executives, CEOs, and boom, I'm here. This is where I'm at. And now I have to go down that chain and be able to operate down that chain. And it's like, it's not saying these people aren't intelligent, they just understand things in a different way. And it's my job to understand how to explain that to them.
You got adaptability is everything. You have to be able to adapt. Like, you have to be able to be that guy in those board meetings, but you also got to be that guy to empathize with your clients.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're gonna talk to them two different ways. You're gonna listen two different ways, right? You know, and like I always take this quote with me. It's a quote by Abraham Lincoln. I'm paraphrasing, but he always says he can learn from anybody.
You can.
You can learn from anybody, and what I mean by that is like you can also learn what not to do, right? So if you have a boss that, you know, I think we talked about this in an episode.
Most likely.
If you've had a boss that, you know, he's not a very good boss, then you probably feel like, man, I could do that job better than he can, right? You know, you should thank that boss, because now when you become a manager, you become a boss one day, you know what not to do from what he did, so he still taught you something.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people out there who don't have dads.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's people because of that became a great father. You know, so it's like there's sometimes it's the beauty where you don't really see it. You know.
It's also like just like not like knowing that you can literally learn from anyone. Like I remember some of the best conversations I had was with like gang members, like active gang members. Like, and I had no idea that these guys were that intelligent. Like they got caught up in a lifestyle and caught a couple cases, and now they can't get out of it. But they're very well educated and they're very well spoken.
It's just the energy is misdirected.
Yeah.
That's all. You know. Yeah. You know.
Then that person taught me a lot. Definitely not to judge a book by its cover. Because I came in there feeling like, okay, this guy wants to talk some stuff. Like, he's probably going to have, like, basic level concepts and understanding. And he just, boom, just dove straight in there and like, understood stuff and was teaching me. And I'm like, I'm the one with the college degrees. And this man had dropped out of high school. Was in jail until he was, like, 23. Now couldn't get a job. This was years ago. I'm not sure where he's at now in life. But he was dropping knowledge on me. Like, oh, okay, you know a little bit about this, but do you know about this, and this? And have the facts to back up the statements. I'm like, man, you just had a bad shake in life.
Yeah, and even if someone tells you something you know, like you don't have to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
You know, you could just be like, oh man, I read about that, or I know that too. That's actually a really good idea. You know, like.
I'm trying to get better at that.
You know, like okay. You know, people want to feel good about themselves. So, you know, you want to feel good about yourself when someone's talking to you want them, you know, so it's the same thing, treat other people the same. So there's a lot of smart people out there, there's a lot of people who, you know, they're really good at what they do, but they're not personable. And people won't always remember what you say to them, but they will always remember how you make them feel.
It's true.
You know, so if they think of like, hey, you know, I'm gonna call the homie to go to this party, and and they're just like, I don't know, the homie makes me feel stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to call the homie to go to the party with me, because otherwise, you know, he's gonna make me feel like inferior of him, and you know, and I don't like that feeling. Why don't I just call the other homie who's fun and makes me feel good? It's the same thing in business. I talk to a lot of people that are trying to get jobs, you know, a lot of college kids, and they're coming out of college, and they're like, oh man, got this degree and so, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, man, but like, have you talked to anybody? Do you know anyone in your field, right? And I was like, no. I'm just like, hey, listen, there's someone that might get that job over you, just because they talk to them.
They're more personal.
They're just more personal. They like, people will hire you if they like you more over the person that's qualified. Sometimes, not all the time, but it does happen a lot.
I've gotten a few deals like that. I've gotten a few jobs like that where it's like there were people more qualified. There were bigger companies that could have easily handled the project, and I was just more personable. Like I came in there confident, you know, listening to my pump up music before I go in there, and I was like, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I've done. X, Y, and Z. Break it down for them, and they're like, oh man, that's crazy. And you're just one person. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and you can get all this done by yourself. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Like,
yeah, I've got plenty of jobs that I wasn't qualified for, but I went in there and just acted like a normal human. You know, I took interest in, you know, the guy that was interviewing me or the girl that was interviewing me. You know, we hit it off, and I got the job. You know, I was just, you know, I wasn't scheming on the law. I mean, of course, I wanted the job, but at the same time, I'm just like, yo, this person is a normal person too, with a family and, you know, a life outside of this. Can I find a way to connect there, then also, you know, highlight some of the things that I'm good at as well, that, you know, and why I would be a good fit for the position. So like, I would get jobs. I remember actually getting a job before my brother got a job. One of my older brothers, he ended up actually getting the job, but I think he went in for the interview, he didn't get the job, and then eventually he got the job later on. And I went in for the interview, I got the job right away. right? But I didn't take the job because I didn't know how to. I honestly did not know how to do the work. They were like, you know what, like we're gonna, you know, we want to hire you, but you know you have to learn and train, and like you know when you do that, and you come back and then like you got a position, and I'm just like I don't know how to do that, so I didn't do it. But he ended up getting the job, but he was good. Like he actually knew the work, but you know the first time he went in there, it probably didn't work out for him because he wasn't as personable.
It was personal, likability, relatability. Those things are all important in business and in life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wrap up this mini short. Let you guys know the Broke Entrepreneur podcast was on a pause. We will be back.
We'll be back soon.
We'll
you
back
know,
soon.
2020.
Yeah.
2020 Broke Entrepreneur podcast is coming back. I'm actually working on some content right now.
Yeah.
What we've been talking about. I interviewed someone who was in my field to specialize in a specific thing that I wanted to know about. So like I'm editing, you know, the LVO Fit podcast because
Shout out to LVO Fit.
shout out to LVO Fit there's a lot of things going in LVO Fit right now, and one of the things that are going into it is this podcast and me interviewing, you know, people that specialize in the things that I don't know that much about, you know, and I'm just listening and learning and myself and then putting it out to other people. So I'm editing that right now.
And yeah, we'll wrap on that note. Look out for the Broke Entrepreneur podcast.
Look out.
We back in 2020.
2020.
But you'll still see more of these behind the scenes shorts. When we're working on content, shooting content, just quick conversations.
Yeah, man.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
All right. Peace.